Hey there everyone, and welcome back, this time not drunk, to another SCP reaction video. Today we'll be reacting to SCP-542. And I'm not gonna say the rest, cause fuck that shit. Anyway, before we start, sorry for being kinda drunk in the last video. Yeah, that was mainly because, let's just say I kind of forgot that I still had to record and had a couple of drinks. And with a couple, I mean like two, because I can't handle my alcohol all that well. At least in my opinion. To be fair, it was like 40% alcohol. Anyway, let's press play and see what's gonna happen, shall we?
Viewer discretion is advised. He was hiding under the bed, and he had these freakishly long arms, and the fingers, too many joints, and he took my ankles right out from under me. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today, we bring the SCP Foundation Euclid class
Wonder what all the
object SCP-542.
what they mean by too many joints in the fingers.
SCP-542, also known as Herr, Chirurg, or Surgeon, is a high-intelligence German man with an IQ range around 150. Although German appears to be his first language, he is also fluent in English, French, and can speak a small bit of Polish and Italian. 542 claims to have been dreadfully normal before World War I started, and claims to have worked for the Nazi Party even if he found their goals boringly simple. 542 has been described as a Frankenstein's monster in appearance.
Yeah, no shit!
He may hide his odd features under heavy clothing, but prefers to wear only a nice pair of slacks, which reveals his hunched form, distended gut, warped rib cage, and bizarre arm structure. His skin is made from patches of various hues and shades, some of which are healed together with scars, while others are still stitched together. The non-symmetrical bone and muscle structure reveals multiple body replacements that have been completed over time surgically. In addition, he admits to having worked with helpers before to replace body parts, such as portions of his own spinal cord. Although his appearance can change with surgery, his arms are always too long for his body, and his hands have been modified greatly to have additional joints in the fingers.
I mean,
542's skin is pulled rather tightly over his face, giving him a somewhat skeletal appearance, along with the tendency for his bones to bulge through the skin. His teeth are collected from different individuals, some of them not even human by all appearances. He currently boasts 2 hearts and multiples of several other organs and organ systems. It is
why the 2
unknown
hearts
as to
though?
how he is able to function while performing invasive surgery on himself, even while inserting extra brain matter into his skull. Maybe because of having an extra brain, 542 seems to have a very good memory. 542 behaves in a surprising...
Also, I just realized, there's only one other creature, even in fantasy, that I know has 2 hearts. And that's a Time Lord from Doctor Who. So, maybe this SCP is a Time Lord? Who knows?
Pleasant manner most of the time, enjoying lengthy conversations about science and biology, politics, and long games of chess. However, when an organ begins to fail or part of his body becomes necrotic, he undergoes a drastic personality change, stalking and observing people from a distance. 542 has been proven to be the assailant in a string of 45 murders over the course of 3 years that occurred across Germany, England, and America. Furthermore, he is suspected of an additional, unconfirmed 15 murders during that time span.
So it's pretty much 60.
He was first observed 4 years ago by a Foundation agent in Germany, after 4 people had been attacked and had muscle, sinew, and bones removed from their limbs. 3 of the victims died from blood loss and shock. The 4th happened to be staying in the hotel room next to the agent who intervened. While staying at the hotel, the agent heard the sounds of a scuffle and screaming from across the hall at approximately 3 a.m. local time, at which point he felt that he had to intervene. unknown that he would come face to face with a possible SCP. After forcing the door open, he saw 542 removing the muscles and bone of the victim's right leg. He fired several shots, and 542 fled through the window. The agent contacted local authorities and an ambulance. The victim is an American tourist who had only been in town for a few days.
Yeah, that would
Is an
scare an
interview of
American
her
off from
describing the
visiting
encounter
Germany
with
again.
542 while recovering in the hospital. I had been to Germany before, so I knew my way around, and I was used to taking the bus. But I guess I first saw him there. I think just this guy, all hidden under heavy jackets. He had a hat and glasses. Of course, I was suspicious because it was summer, you know, sweltering hot. And I realized he was looking at me, but I ignored it.
Yeah, bad
He didn't
idea.
get off the bus at my stop, anyways. And there were always others on the bus, even late at night. I guess I saw him for 3 days, and I stopped thinking about it. He must have followed me off the bus that day, that night. I went up to my hotel room, and I don't remember. The window was open, and it was all dark. The light wouldn't turn on. I figured maybe somebody had broken into my room, so I went in to see if anything was stolen, and the victim shows signs of intense discomfort. And
You
asked for a
think
minute to
she's
compose herself.
vomiting?
She
I
resumes
think she's
after
fine,
several
even though
minutes.
she's vomiting, though.
He was hiding under the bed, and he had these freakishly long arms
I think
and the
she's
fingers,
fine.
too many joints.
Minus the
And he
vomiting.
took my ankles right out from under me. He was just too fast. He tied my arms and legs to the bed. He kept saying like, "Don't worry," and "You're going to help me, and I need your help," and things like that. It was scary as shit.
Yeah,
And he
no,
said
really.
that so long as I kept quiet, he might call an ambulance afterward, and that was a little scary. I guess it really was worse than that. He picked up his jacket and had been on the coat hanger by the door. Come to think of it, I hadn't even noticed it. He started pulling out all these tools, and I just didn't know what to do. So I decided to take my chances and started screaming as loud as I could. Then he... The victim started crying and couldn't continue talking. She was allowed to stop there and was delivered the amnestic and alibi that night. She believed that she had, instead, been in an unfortunate traffic incident and her right leg had been amputated. 542 appears to have the ability to sense the health and medical status of other humans within several meters of him. The range extends to approximately 5 meters when he focuses. He admits that he uses this process, which he doesn't understand himself, to pick his next victims. 542 has shown to be very willing to comply with certain experiments, and appears to enjoy performing self-surgery with someone observing, explaining what he is doing, and displaying his knowledge of the workings of the body, almost as if he were a teacher describing a surgical textbook. One time, 542 decided to have his own baby. He did a microsurgery to Dr. Cald and Dr. Mann. Now,
The
let us
fuck?
consummate our love through microsurgery and genetic engineering. To the laboratory, in the purest way. Within moments, the microsurgery tools were set up, the genetic samples unfrozen, and the mysterious beakers and flasks of colorful fluids were bubbling merrily. Dr. Mann and Dr. Cald were happily splicing away at DNA. 542 began the delicate process of combining the DNA into one complete set. It was a delicate process, and it required a steady, unwavering hand. His thin, multi-jointed digits went to work with a will, slowly wending their way into the very stuff of life until he had completed his chromosomal work. Gentlemen, we have combined our genetic material successfully. Now, we must raise it to gestation. So, how should we start? An artificial womb? A surrogate? No. That would spoil the magic of it. It must be one of us. Perhaps Dr. Mann would like the honor. Dr. Mann shook his head.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it
I couldn't.
either.
You should do it, Dr. Cald. I insist. I know my little darlings are so eager to make each other happy. But there can only be one womb. It is clear what is causing this strife. Obviously, you both want to carry our child. I should have thought of this before. I should have known it would cause strife. But don't worry. 542 said with a smile. Papa has a solution. Trust in me. He held up a scalpel. The both of them realized that they were feeling more tired. 9 months later, you two make a lovely mother. 542 admiring his handiwork. It had taken a great deal of work to get two heads to function on one body. The body had to have sufficient blood flow to support two brains, and sufficient oxygen introduced into the blood. But it had been worth it to make his darlings happy, and to give him the family he had longed for. He beamed. Remember to check out my new animation channel, TheRubber Talks, where I share my life story, thoughts, and opinions.
That
Just
was
click
a
on the link in the description.
horrifying image. I mean, with an SCP like that, you'd think they'd always have extra security if, like in that case with two doctors, you know? 'Cause damn, that's actually really moronic of the SCP Foundation, to be honest. Just letting two researchers unguarded. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys, in the next video of whatever I'll be making. So yeah, bye.